Who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you guys got into last week?
We didn't get into any trouble. No, everything was fine.
You got flushed down the alien's toilet.
You did steal a priceless artifact from the most wealthy man in the multiverse.
But we didn't get into
Oh,
any
he'll
trouble.
miss it the least.
Also, I seem to recall you implying that Keelian didn't exist anymore.
Is that what I implied?
Yeah, at least that's what I got.
I mean, Keelian overthrew Rowan Darkwood. What makes you think he didn't also overthrow the Lady of Pain?
Did he really overthrow Rowan Darkwood, though?
No, he is Rowan Darkwood. We've established this.
Well, let me rephrase that. I think Keelian thinks he overthrew Rowan Darkwood.
That is entirely possible, yes. That is...
Oh, no, I 100% believe that. Yeah, no kidding.
Guys, I've been reading Dungeons & Dragons printed material since the 1980s. 89 or so. I've read hundreds of little adventures and all of, like, the 2E campaign settings and stuff, and a bunch of stuff in PDF form from 3 and 4E. In the entire canon of printed Dungeons & Dragons material, I don't think a character ever gets completely destroyed as bad as Rowan Darkwood does. And I don't even think it's close. People are like, oh, but Raistlin has that cough and he has to drink magic coffee. Yeah, well, Rowan Darkwood got banished through time more than once.
Yeah, Buddy got deleted.
He gets screwed so badly, it's actually impossible to learn what happens to him in the adventure. And you have to just read the epilogue in the adventure to know what happens to him.
Dear God.
He gets screwed multiple times, actually. Because I read that after you were talking about it. I was like, I want to know what this was. And I read it and just like, yeah, this is a character that deserves to get screwed 3 or 4 times.
It's kind of, it's, you know, in Hitchhiker's Guide, the robot who like lives the entire age of the universe multiple times. That's what happens
Marvin,
to Darkwood,
yeah.
more or less.
Yeah, he's Marvin. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Except he doesn't know he's Marvin until it's too late.
Wait,
but
Rowan or Marvin doesn't know. I'm losing the plot here.
I don't think there is a plot.
Anyway, we stole the Kodrashi. Well, we borrowed the Kodrashi port,
Borrowed.
and we missed out on the Staff of Thunder. Or wait, that's Dragon Quest. And
The greatest mystery of Dunfoss's like recent history.
Staff of Osprey.
Staff
We
of
just-
Thunder and Lightning.
We just said no, we're not interested in that. No.
we were going to take it. We just found out we could only take one thing.
When you
Keelian's
were
a jerk.
awfully attached to a fork for some reason, but like to the point you want to bond with it.
And then we came back, and we were discussing. I forgot what we were discussing. And then Rallick came into our lives, and immediately smarmed his way into our hearts.
Kind of assholed his way into your hearts, but yeah.
That's everybody at the table, though.
Yeah.
Not Scrappy.
Scrappy is a paragon of virtue, apparently.
So you have decided to join forces for this heist. And you were supposed to think about a plan on how to get this book.
Yeah, Rallick would have told them what happened at the end of it. He would have told them, about how he passed himself off as a scholar, got a look at the book, read the book, saw where it was kept, and then broke in, and then the magic lock, and then told him about how he got stymied by the magic lock and how it alerted the guards, and given him the time frame, because I think it took like maybe 2 minutes for the guards to show up after he did it, and less than a little bit more than that to come out. And he would have warned them that it was likely not. If they're smart, then it's likely not stored in the same place.
Does Rallick have? Does he have like forgery kit expertise?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So we happen to have a book, right? That was made to look like it, but doesn't have anything on the internal. I think it was blank on the inside. Does anybody remember that?
Well, there is a 0% chance that Rallick could transcribe the book from memory.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Eh.
I mean, he could tell you things he read in the book, but yeah, he wouldn't be able to transcribe it. That's a very long, very complicated, detailed book.
Okay, so what's next?
I mean,
did you tell him that you've got a copy of the book?
we don't have a copy of the book. We have a.
A forgery of the book.
I mean, I don't see any reason to keep that from you.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll kind of look at it and then think for a minute. He says that's possible. I thought about doing the same thing, but without having gotten my hands on the book, I didn't trust myself to make an accurate forgery of it. It's very, shall we say, used, soiled maybe. There's a lot of, it's been around for many years and been through a lot of things, so it was a difficult one to actually do. Theoretically, I could try to get another look at it, but I'm a little bit reticent to do that. Only because if I showed up as the same person trying to access it twice, they might get suspicious the second time since somebody broke in and tried to, since they know now that somebody broke in and tried to get the book.
Somebody broke in. We don't know who.
Somebody. Nobody knows who. Allegedly.
Some thing or another.
Allegedly.
Allegedly broke in.
Some rake and roustabout allegedly broke in and tried to do it.
So, does anybody have any ideas? Because we've basically got a few options, as I see it.
I can get in there. I can get in there pretty easily. There's two unguarded doors, one to the back and one to the side. The one to the back is a little harder to get into. It's barred with has a metal bar over the front of it, so a little bit louder getting into. The side door would be quite easy to sneak into, but I don't know. I haven't been in the room it leads into. I know a good bit of the layout of the mansion, but I have not been in that room. So if we were to go in we'd take a little bit of risk there. Do any of you have invisibility or anything like that?
I mean, I can do invisibility, but I mean, I can also probably handle my way on the alarms and the lock on the display case or whatever.
What if, while people were sneaking in, there was also a distraction outside?
Yeah, that was kind of where my brain was.
That's something I had considered. I didn't have when I broke in. Allegedly, when someone broke in the first time, there wasn't. It was a solo job allegedly, and wasn't a way to create such a distraction. But it was a thing that might have been considered. That could definitely work. Get the guards away from the room. Thing is, we don't know whether it's going to be in the same spot or not, and I would have to assume that it's not. So we would need to look in some of the other rooms that I haven't been into. But if you could create such a sufficient distraction as to alert all the guards to the front of it, we should easily be able to sneak in from the back, a second group.
Do you want to start a fight in the bar?
Prefer not to.
I mean, like, we basically have distraction. We always could do smash and grab.
Hey, out of character, how big a reputation does Gus actually have for drinking? Because obviously we all know about drunk Gus.
That's up to Gus. I would have to imagine a pretty sufficient one.
I'm just trying to decide if Rake would know about the King's Men, so I'm sure if he would know about Gus's. Just trying to decide if in character he would know about Gus's reputation for being drunk.
Is Gus drunk right now?
No, Gus is not drunk right now.
What if you and I, Gus, we go in, we talk about the book again. Oh, please give us the book. Please give us the book. And the guy's like, no, we're definitely not giving you the book. And then we go get drunk and we start a fight. And then while we're fighting and causing a scene, they go around back, do what they need to do to grab the book.
What if the book is not in the building anymore?
Well, like I say, I doubt that. He is very. We can't assume that he has any kind of off-site storage, and he is very. What's the guy's name? King Saros.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be the type that's very possessive and very adamant about keeping it on person. I doubt he would let it get too far from himself.
Well, I do know that there is a tomb over here and a temple of some kind right here. I don't remember to which deity, though.
They weren't very well guarded when I scouted the place earlier. Again, allegedly. So I doubt he would put something in a place that he wouldn't have at ready access to guards in. But it's definitely something to consider.
I'm okay with the being a distraction thing. Like that's. I mean, I can't exactly sneak.
Well, we could do two things. If I don't know what Master Alex's stealth capabilities are, but if two of us could sneak into the main building, we have multiple people here. We could have the two of you start a fight, two of us do that, and then perhaps Master Udok check the temple or the check the other two outbuildings.
I think
if
with
they're
a,
lightly guarded.
I think with a day of preparation, Alex is probably the best. Well, like not like raw, like rolling, but like the best person we have at stealth due to the fact.
Yeah,
that
I need a day to get the equipment ready, but after that, I can be pretty damn hard to find.
Because Alex can cast invisibility and also equip those boots that got Florian killed.
Oh, we're playing the boots. Okay.
Listen, Florian had a problem with footwear. Like it's just a known fact.
And Rock would say, I mean, I could pretty easily sneak into the two outbuildings at night if we wanted to try them, but I'm a little hesitant to do more than one, to risk more than one incursion. I think this needs to.
Do you have any way to communicate telepathically?
I can cast message, yes.
Can you cast message on someone you can't see, and can I respond?
You can respond with message, but I don't know if it.
I don't actually. As long as I know where you're at, I don't think I have to see you for message. Give me a second, and I'll look. So I point my finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. Only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. You can cast the spell through solid objects if you are familiar with the target and know it is beyond the barrier.
Okay.
Magical silence, 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, 3 feet of wood blocks the spell. And does not have to follow a straight line.
I mean, if that works, I can make both of us invisible. I can make myself a pair of boots that'll make it pretty hard to hear me, at least if I take off my armor first.
Mm-hmm.
And I can definitely pop pretty much any physical or magical lock. But
You
I
can
need
do
knights
that.
prepare.
Okay. Well, I ask you this. I'm reticent. I'd rather do it all at once. But we have less of a risk of checking the other two buildings out. Would you rather check them and then move to the house, or would you rather do it all as one smash and grab? I'd also would prefer to avoid violence if at all possible. Just for
What time
many
is it now?
reasons.
It's the middle of the day, right?
That can be whatever time you need it to be.
Let's have two people go over. This place is normally just an eatery?
So
Mhm.
it's a little strange because it's his actual, it's a manor house that he owns
Right.
and lives in, but he runs the front of it like a tap house, a public house.
Yep. Somebody should go in there right now and just see if they can't, like, go use the latrine or whatever and see if you can't figure out if the book's still in the same place.
They
Do a
escorted
very
me.
just a real basic case the joint, just find out if it's still there before we even make
I
any
don't-
other plans.
Rallick would say, I don't mind doing that in the slightest. I can go back in my disguise as the scholar since I'm known there now. But I don't. Anytime I went out of the main public area, they very closely escorted me and would not let me out of their sight.
You don't have to get out of their sight. You just have to have an excuse to walk through whatever room gives you a view to the book.
For the record, the public latrine would be here, off the side of the one of the public rooms. They actually
wow.
The book was in, and he'll explain to him the book was in the back in a private area, and you would have to actually go into the room to be able to tell, and get into the cabinet to be able to tell if it was still there. He didn't have it on. He did not have it on display. I mean, we could go see if he's put it back on display, but I would be shocked. I'm not aware of why he took it off. The first time I saw it, it was on display, and the second time it wasn't. And I don't know why he moved it.
Neither do we.
He'll just kind of look at you. I'm sure you don't.
We really don't. Look at this face. Gus is not a good liar.
What's
He'll
next?
just look, Master Alex, would you prefer us to at least go and make a presence known in the tap house? It probably would not hurt it probably would not hurt to show up again as the scholar there. I'm known there and fairly welcome.
I mean, I think it's easier to just send someone in to discreetly find out if the book's there than try and guess which building we're going to hit in the middle of the night.
Let's see, Lucius is a noble, right? So it probably would. I'll say, I'll look at Master Lucius would. You might accompany me. It might look a little bit more normal for a noble to be paying visit to such an establishment.
I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem.
The only issue I see with that is like we are currently not associated in this man's eye, and we've all like talked to him. We tried to purchase the book.
Well, again, though, he does know who my scholar is, and it would look less unlikely for a man of Master Udok's means to be seen to be a contemporary of a fairly well-known scholar.
Gus like elbows Lucius and says, "Hey, did you hear that? You have means."
I mean, you do know who my father is, right?
Right, but that's that, and you're you.
Ouch.
I say with all the love in the world.
Gus, who's your father?
Yeah. Well, all of Gus's family went down with a ship, so.
I haven't seen
So-
any evidence of that. What's next?
So the only thing I would be concerned of is that they're already on heightened alert about the book. Someone has already tried to break in and stolen it. The more we appear, like initially casing the joint and then looking around, and then Gus and I starting a fight later, the more panicked and alerted they're going to be. That's my only concern at this
Agreed.
point.
Agree.
You think we should just go in and improvise? It's worked so far.
Well, I mean, I believe with the distraction, it should help. We should at least have a little bit more free reign of it. And my only thought with me and Lucius and I going in was not to even confirm about the book. I mean, it would seem normal for me to come in, like I'm known there. It would seem normal for me to come in and at least hang in and spend time in the public place, maybe look at the display again, because I'm ostensibly studying ancient shipwrecks. So, I mean, at least we would know whether we would at least go into the public area and know whether the book is there again or not, and get an idea. We could get an idea of the tenor of the manor at this point. I mean, we're waiting a night. We have nothing better to do, and it's a low it's a low chance of alerting as long as we don't make any means to the book, inquiry about it.
Agreed.
What are you guys doing with the fork?
Oh, right. I was going to do the weapon bond thing with it just so it couldn't get stolen from us. There was mutterings that this was going to be a bad idea, but I've already said I was going to do it.
Are you are you doing this before or after the caper?
I guess before, like, because I don't want to carry the fork with us.
Okay.
I just want to keep it from getting stolen.
Okay.
So it's a 1 hour long ritual that
Take the
I'm.
benefits of a short rest in that time.
Where are you performing the ritual? At Mad Metals?
Yes. Just in the room.
In your
We're all in.
in your cramped little room. Okay.
Yeah.
You complete the ritual with the fork.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm replacing the Alex, I took the the cutlass off just so I
Sure.
have it.
And then what do you do with the actual fork?
I'm going to set it to the side and then try to summon it to my hand to make sure it works.
Okay, roll initiative.
All right.
All of us are just Gus.
Everybody who's there in this cramped, tiny little room.
All right, here we go. This is fun.
Oh,
I
great.
like this.
Can't really draw this out because I wasn't expecting to have combat in this cramped, tiny little room. That's fine. This will be fun anyway.
This is fun too.
We're all smited by a god. Yes.
Man, it rolled from the 15 to the 4 at the literal last second. So that's
What does it say when you hover over it?
Oh no, it says 4. Like I said, it was on the 15, and then at the last second it rolled to the
Mhm.
4. So it's I think I'm a 7.
To have a plus initiative,
Yeah,
a
7.
positive initiative score.
I definitely have not cast Gift of Alacrity on you, because this might be a time where, yeah, no, genuine surprise.
So, Gus, you're standing in your cramped little room. There's probably not enough. Well, I guess there's probably just enough physical space for all of you to be smushed in here having conversations. Oh, I have to spawn in
Yeah.
Rallick's thing here.
There was one under there a minute ago, but I was on the other table.
That was a minute ago. Now it's now.
Mhm.
That's
Now
how
it's
time.
now.
That's how time works.
Yo. So how do you do it with? I guess Gus rolled a 7 too from the look of this. So how do you do it with that one? Would I just take the 6
You and Gus have to have a knife fight.
to the death?
All right, roll initiative for the knife fight.
So the actual rules are if two people have a tied initiative score, is you should compare dexterity scores. Whoever has the higher goes first. But the rules don't say what happens if you also have dexterity scores that are tied. So the way I do it for players is I'll just let you guys, if you're ever tied for initiative with another player, just between the two of you, just work it out.
Okay, Gus, I'll take it at the 6. Or well, I guess you're taking it at the 6. So. Okay, well then I'll go with the 7.
Gus, so you set the
Yeah.
fork to the side. You stand back. This is a tiny, tiny room. Like, you guys are all squished in here. We're talking maybe 5 by 10 feet. Most of the second floor of Mad Metal's shops are just these cramped little spaces. He doesn't entertain much, and he has the entire top floor to himself. So one of the rooms on this floor is where you all have been staying. And another room on this floor is Tom's sleeping quarters. There's another tiny room on this floor that is just a storage pantry. And it's basically just this short little hallway. There are spiral stairs going down from one end down to the shop, and then spiral stairs going up the other end up to Mad Metal's quarters. Currently, Tom is down in the shop, and Mad Metal is either up in his quarters or down in the basement. You're not sure. What happens is Gus sets the fork to the side of the room, steps out to the doorway to try to summon the fork to his hand, and the entire room instantly fills with water. So let's get a strength saving throw from everybody.
How is it gonna be bad?
Twenty 28 from Gus.
Okay.
10 for Lucius.
Okay.
Oh dear God, mine is, or I actually rolled a 2, and I have a.
Oh, no, I'm sorry,
Mine
that's
is
an
2 to
8.
say to strength, so that's what, a 0. I
Looking
got
for a-
1.
14 for Alex.
Looking for a
I-
13.
I've got a 20. I have a 20 on my strength saving throw.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
Looking
did
Pete,
someone
that-
get a 10?
looking for a 14.
Lucius got an 8.
Okay. If you didn't pass the 14, you are knocked prone by the force of this water.
All right.
Sure.
And the water is pushing. You guys have been in a lot of water traps lately. Like, what is it with you guys?
I can't imagine why.
Flushes out into the little hallway, and then immediately starts draining down the stairs into the shop. And then from there's another layer of stairs that goes down into the basement. So, Alex is surprised. Were you knocked prone as well?
No.
And Lucius is surprised.
Scrappy can't be surprised he dodges.
Okay.
I'm
Lucius
prone.
is surprised, and you're knocked prone.
Yep.
When the water all flushes out of the room, the first thing you notice is that the fork is nowhere to be seen. The second thing you notice is that there are two massive creatures formed out of water. And, I mean, they're very tightly packed in the room. The water has flushed most of you out to the door and knocked some of you prone in the hallway. But you're essentially looking at two suits of armor made out of beautiful corals and underwater materials, barnacles adhered to them, but much more colorful than you would expect the seafloor to look like. Very exotic looking minerals. Each one of them is armed with a trident made of similar materials, neither of which is the trident that Gus just tried to summon. Inside this body of armor, though, is just an animated, vaguely humanoid shape formed out of water, and both of these things are going to attempt to kill Gus.
Fair.
Can Scrappy deflect attack on one of those?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and take whichever one at disadvantage.
Okay. Is that one attack or one complete round of attacks? 'Cause they both
Attack.
have-
One attack.
the first attack make a disadvantage. Got it. Gus, were you knocked prone?
No.
Oh, he makes 3 attacks. Excellent. Okay, Gus, I have a 11 to hit.
No.
I have a 7 to hit.
Nope.
I have a 13 to hit.
Nope.
All right, the second guy. Gus. I have a 25 to hit.
Shield.
Throwing up your shield.
Yep.
I have another 25 to hit.
You're looking for a 26.
I have a nat 20.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I need to keep track of their recharge, too. I type out all stat blocks that I use into Notepad instead of using a tool or something to keep track of monsters. This is what I recommend everybody do, obviously. Okay, Gus. $18 points of piercing damage. Plus 7 points of cold damage. And your speed is reduced by 10 feet. As these creatures move towards you, sloshing along the ground. As a great force of water pushes everybody from the room out into the hallway. Much of this water has upended the pantry on the opposite side, spilling and destroying and soaking down into the floorboards. You hear Tom cry out from the shop below. And the creatures both level their tridents and go to stab at you. And you manage to deflect the first one, but they're both very capable fighters. And as you're deflecting the one, you feel the jab of the other one. Not only does it pierce through your armor into your side, but you feel the tip of the trident is freezing cold. And suddenly the whole side of your body, your torso and the layers of armor you're wearing are coated in frost. And that's going to bring us to Conor is surprised, Rallick is surprised, and Gus is surprised. And that brings us back to Alex.
So Alex will duck back into the hallway a little bit. Does that get me any attacks of opportunity, or did the water push me out of melee?
No, the water has pushed everybody out of the room. There's not enough space in there for both of these creatures to stand and all of you. So you're already in the
Alex will duck back into the hallway, reach into his alchemist kit, pull a strange crystal out, and slot it into his ring and tap it. That's a haste spell on himself.
Okay.
As a bonus action, Scrappy will attack the one closest to Gus.
Okay.
Scrappy hits an armor class of 27.
27 does hit.
Okay.
Oh God, I hope so.
D8 plus 3 force. For 7 force damage.
And Scrappy is moving or staying put?
Scrappy's staying put right next to Gus.
All right, it's going to bring us to Lucius. Lucius, you're prone in the hallway.
Have my movement to stand up. And I am going to... Lucius whips out his... He's got book in one hand, scepter in the other, and he flips through pages with the thumb of his... with the thumb on the book. And then he starts casting magic, and I need... I need one of those guys to make a charisma saving throw.
3.
That is banishment for 1 minute. I'm attempting to send that creature to another plane of existence.
So what plane?
To get him out of combat for a little bit.
It makes a local demo plane, and if they stay there for a minute, they go back to their home plane if they're summoned.
Oh, you can't even pick the plane you banish them to? That's too bad.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, the first creature blinks out of existence. Gives the second creature room to continue stabbing at Gus. Are you moving or staying put?
Lucius is backing off.
And that lasts for 1 minute. It doesn't repeat its save at all?
Let's see.
I guess more to the point, is it a concentration spell?
It is. And that's why Lucius is backing off.
Lucius,
Yes.
what were you holding in your hands?
A scepter and his book.
The book and scepter clatter to the ground as your hands lose form. The pain of it is racking up through your muscles and your bones. You're concentrating on the banishment rather than your hands. It takes 6 points of force damage.
Oh, goody.
I assume you can make that concentration save, though.
I mean, I fucking hope so. Blips.
Hold on, I'll give you a +5.
So that was
I
7 plus.
already burned the blips, so...
Oh, okay.
The blips are burned? Okay.
I mean, unless Burkroad's willing to walk that back, because I only got an 8, which would fail to save.
I'm happy to let you spend the blips.
There you go.
All right. So, when you guys looking at Lucius's hands, they're whipping around like just the chaos stuff, just the raw, formless material. Anybody can use their concentration slot in order to give form to Lucius's hands, but right now he's concentrating on banishing the creature instead. Which some would say is a heroic, selfless act. And that's going to bring us to my creature. And I'm going to have him attack Gus some more.
Go ahead and take a disadvantage on the first one from deflect attack.
Actually, Gus, you shouldn't have been able to shield last round. You were surprised.
It's do I not have a reaction
You
when
do
you're
not
surprised?
when you're surprised. Mhm.
Okay.
I won't forget that again. I probably will. Yeah, you don't get an action or a bonus action, but you get your reaction back at the end of your turn when you're surprised. So Lucius would have had a reaction by their turn, but you would not have. Filthy cheaters all over my table. Gus,
Yeah.
I've got a 16 to hit.
No.
I have a 24 to hit.
That does.
And I have a 21 to hit.
That is my AC.
Okay. So 2 of these hit. The first one we're looking at 13 points of piercing damage. Plus 2 points of cold. And second hit is 12 points of piercing damage plus 4 points of cold.
Okay.
What is passive insight for... Who has the highest passive insight in the group? I'll just ask that.
I've got 17.
I believe Conor does. I think Conor's is 18.
Conor.
Passive insight, yeah. No.
You can't be certain, obviously, because only a few seconds have passed and everything's still going completely crazy. But you're relatively sure these creatures are laser focused on bringing down Gus.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's going to bring us to Conor's turn.
All right. I'm making an assumption here. If it is an incorrect assumption, I am sorry, party. I'm going to try it anyway. So, Conor is going to go back to back. So, his back's against Gus and cast Magic Circle
Okay.
with protection from elementals. So, elementals can't enter the circle. They have disadvantage on attacks to targets in the circle. And anyone in the circle can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed. If then hopefully they are water elementals of some kind.
See, I thought Conor was cool with elementals. I thought it was Fae and undead and Fae and fiends and Fae and people that he didn't like.
There's a list.
It's a shifting hierarchy.
There's a hierarchy, yeah.
Right now, elementals are really, really high, hoping that they are
So,
in fact elementals.
To be clear on this, the range of the circle is 10 feet.
Yep.
And you're going to step up next to Gus and cast this, yes?
Yes.
It
The
says
idea being that
the
it's Conor and
creature
Gus.
Can't willingly enter the circle, but a creature that's in the circle when you cast it can remain there. Like, casting the spell will not expel the elemental from the circle. He'll have all the other effects, disadvantage on attacks and things. but-
Correct.
Okay. So
Well, I'm assuming the elemental when he casts it is not in the circle.
he is, because he's standing right next to him, poking him with a trident. He's within 5 feet of him.
Okay.
And this room is not big enough to support any kind of other.
Oh yeah, the magic
Space
circle encompasses the entire room. It's that small. So the creature is already in the circle, but he has disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah,
Can't-
that's fine.
And then he
That's
can't charm or
Yeah.
possess Gus. Unless Gus drinks all of him.
If it were an alcohol golem, then maybe.
So inside the room, you've got Gus, Conor, and the creature. And like
What's Scrappy?
and Scrappy. And what form does this magical circle take? Does it look like anything? Does it smell like anything?
This is glowing runes on the cylinder intersects with the floor, the surface. So sparkly, maybe some rainbows.
I like to think that there's like an archaic rune for fake creatures, and it's just like the Ghostbuster symbol. Conor just has like a no through it. Like all of his abjurations have those runes.
It is very Fey-like. Let's put it that way.
Rallick, were you knocked prone by the water?
I was.
So you're out in the hallway, you're knocked prone. What that means is you've got to spend half of your movement to get back up on your feet. Or you could just lay on the ground. It's up to you.
I've spent half my movement to get up. With 15 feet, do I still have enough to get into the room and make an attack?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can definitely... But if you step into the room, you'll be in the thing's threat range. He'll be able to attack you without moving.
Right. And I'm assuming that that Gus is Gus and now Conor are also within 5 feet of the creature.
If you're in the room, you're within 5 feet of this creature. There's nowhere else
Okay.
to stand.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go in and I guess I'll attack the one that's closest to Gus, and that should be enough for me to get. If I hit, should be enough for me to get sneak attack on.
Well, right now, there's only one because Lucius has banished the other one.
Gotcha. Okay,
To
so I'll attack that one then.
non-specific pocket demiplane.
I'll pull out the 2 short swords and attack him with the first one.
Now, does it like create like a proprietary Lucius themed demiplane, or does it just pick another demiplane that already exists? Because there's one out there somewhere that's filled with dead rats.
I think it's a proprietary Lucius demiplane, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm not rolling good today. That's only a 12.
12 does not hit.
Okay.
Lunge forward with your short sword, and it just scrapes off of this thing's armor. Because the armor, it's made out of like sea corals and barnacles and things, and you're thinking, oh, it's relatively porous. I can sneak this sword right through there. But the sword just deflects the blade.
So remind me real quick before I look it up. I can use the second attack as a bonus. I can still do a second attack as a bonus action, but I don't remember what
you can make an
applied to
attack with an offhand weapon you're carrying as a bonus action, as long as it is.
As long as you've made an attack with your main weapon.
Yeah.
It also has to be smaller than your main weapon. Like you can't.
Oh, it has to be a finesse. It
has to be a finesse
light.
weapon, right? Correct.
Yeah, 2 weapon fight.
Not finesse. It's light,
It's light.
and you
It's
don't get
and-
your dexterity or whatever score to damage.
Correct.
Right. The short swords they're both light weapons.
But you can apply sneak attack to it if you hit with the offhand weapon.
Red did that a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think the bonus action offhand is great for a rogue. I really think that's a very useful utility for them to have.
Yep.
So you
if-
do the
if you're playing
proficiency
more.
bonus, just not the ability modifier.
Correct.
On damage, your attack roll is normal. The damage doesn't add dex.
That's where I always get confused. Yeah, damage doesn't get the +3. Gotcha. Okay, so let's roll again. Ah. Yeah, that's a 1. That's a 8.
So
My
you're attacking
God.
with. So I want to make sure that you realize what you've done here is you're committed to holding a short sword in each hand at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, just both of your swords just glance off this thing's armor like absolutely nothing. You cannot find purchase in the water underneath. And are you moving or staying put? You have enough movement to step back out of the room, but if you do so, you may trigger an attack of opportunity.
I'll stay put.
It's going to bring us to
Thank you.
Gustavo.
Thank you for trying. Gus is going to. Let's see. Hopefully, I'm going to bank on the fact that this guy is in fact an elemental, since he's made of water.
Okay.
I figure that's a safe assumption, right? And then I'm going to. Just use my attack. I'm going to just do a regular attack.
Okay.
So first attack is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, I need a D8.
He's not making these rolls at advantage, correct? Because of the magic circle. It's just disadvantage when they attack him.
Just disadvantage, yeah.
Gotcha.
So that is 9 points of magic bludgeoning.
Okay.
Second attack is a 25,
Also hits.
and this is 6 points of magical bludgeoning damage. And bonus action, second wind,
Mhm.
which is it's a D10, I think. Yes, D10 plus 9.
And what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 13.
Okay. Gus, moving or staying put?
I'm staying put.
All right, it's going to bring us back to Alexander.
So Alexander's going to start blinking back and forth, just sort of like strobing a little bit because of all the unstable, chaotic time energy he's put into this ring. And he's going to take a couple of musket shots. So we got the first shot that hits an armor class of 10.
10 is not going to do it.
Second shot hits an armor class of crit.
Okay, that'll definitely hit.
I'm going to go ahead and put a arcane jolt on that for another 2d6.
Maybe I should give myself blips to spend in these kind of situations.
And this is plus 16, because I'm sharpshooter. So that'll deal. Come on. There we go. So that one deal. Do you care about the fact that some of this is force damage?
Give me the damage separately, please.
Sure. So for magical piercing, 36,
Is that it?
and then force damage is 22.
Who needs a rogue?
What is your passive perception?
Alex's passive perception is a 14.
Okay.
And I have a third attack because of haste.
Oh, good. I'm glad. My poor monster.
That hits an 11.
11 does not hit.
Scrappy will use his action to give me advantage on my next attack against the creature. And that's the end of our turns.
So 14 passive perception. You are clobbering this thing with your musket shot. I mean, you're not standing at point blank range, but you're pretty close. So it's really difficult to miss at this range. But you've also seen other people's attacks kind of glance off its armor. But when you fire, you notice now that the creature is bloodied. And what that means in this context is that more and more of the water is flowing out of its form and out into the room and down the stairs. And chunks of its armor are falling off and clattering to the floor. And you realize that they're not falling in a completely unpredictable pattern. You would expect the debris to just hit the floor wherever it lands. But it actually seems to like hit the floor and then rock or roll into place. Into a specific place on the floor, on the far side of the room underneath the closed window. Well, no. Closed window, the force of the water would have pushed the window open, and there would be water streaming down into the street. That's what happened. And Scrappy's also staying put?
Scrappy uses his action to give me advantage and then just stays there.
Okay. Lucius, it's your turn. You are not able to hold objects or cast spells with somatic components.
Good thing I'm not doing that. I'm holding back here, screaming in pain and being like, "Make my hands again!"
Are you moving anywhere?
I'm putting as much different distance as I can between myself and this room.
Well, I mean, you can go downstairs into the shop.
No, I'm not going downstairs in the shop. I'm going to stay on the floor.
6 points of force damage.
I'm good on concentration.
Okay. And that's going to bring us to my monster, which has disadvantage on attack rolls against Gus. Gus, I have an 18 to hit.
No.
I have another 18 to hit. And I have a 9 to hit.
No.
You sure the 9 doesn't hit?
No. I had to double check. It's real close.
It's much easier to parry this thing's blows now as it's coming at you with the trident. You can see that the runes of the magic circle are pushing its weapon away from you. And having only one stabbing at you instead of two, it's very easy to make sure that you don't get stabbed again. That's going to bring us to Conor.
Okay. Focusing on what's his name's hands is a full action, right?
Gaining concentration on them is, but after that, it's just maintaining the use of your concentration spot.
Okay. How are you looking, Gus?
40-ish% health. I'm bloodied,
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll be okay. Fix his hands.
All right.
Just a straight intelligence check.
Uh-oh. All right, straight intelligence, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That is a 12.
12. What form do you attempt to give his hands?
His natural form?
So just regular humanoid hands, 5 digits, opposing thumbs.
Tiefling hands, I would assume.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna like do like fun lobster claws or something.
it's Futurama where I'm just giving him the devil's claws.
Like make one of them a sandwich.
Give him the clamps.
No, you concentrating it's an extremely bizarre sight, actually, as you just think about Lucius's hands. Like, does Lucius usually wear gloves?
No.
No? Okay. So just thinking of Lucius, I imagine he has perfectly, like, manicured...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you form Lucius's hands back into place. And it's such a weird sensation in your mind, because it's like pouring liquid into a glass, wine glass. Like the liquid, you're looking at it, and you know it's not really the shape of the wine glass. It's just holding the shape of the wine glass while you're holding the wine glass. If you were to drop it, or tip it over, or even spill it slightly, that's what holding his hands in place looks like. You're kind of just wrapping reality around his hands. As long as you
Conor.
concentrate on it, they're
Yeah.
fine. If you take damage, you've got to make a concentration save, and you cannot cast another spell that requires concentration without dropping this.
The good thing about Connor is like a lot of his spells are not concentration. That's very handy. But
Handy.
Connor
Uh,
looks very upset
That's gonna.
as he tries to understand this reality warping thing he's doing.
Are you moving anywhere or staying put?
No, I'm staying put. This is a nice circle.
Brings us to Rallick.
All right, Rallick's going to try to attack again with a different die.
Because that makes the difference.
Well, this is a 21, so it makes a difference.
Okay.
Does a 21 hit?
Sure does.
All right, so I'm going to do the damage roll. That one is 29 plus 3, so 32.
Is that applying your sneak attack?
That is applying my sneak attack, yes.
Okay.
Brooker takes a page from 3rd edition. Is immune to crits.
I want to say the only thing in any of my 5e campaigns that has been immune to crits was Nath.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're good, I'm.
So yeah,
oh,
you
sorry.
stab at it, and your weapon pierces into the armor, and the thing recoils with damage. But you can tell you have a non-magical short sword,
Right.
and you're not doing the same kind of work that Gus or Alex were doing with their weapons.
All right. Well, I'll try the second attack with the other sword.
Okay.
Do what damage I can. That one's not any. Okay, that's not good. That's a 13.
Okay. Yeah, it's just incredibly difficult to force your sword through this thing's armor because short sword's a piercing, right? Should be
I believe it's a melee weapon.
should be
martial
ideal for
finesse.
this kind of work. And this thing's magical armor is just resisting part of the damage. Moving or staying put?
Staying put.
It's going to bring us back to Gus.
Yep. Gus is going to look at it and go, would it help if I said I was sorry? And then hit it with the hammer.
Okay.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
Okay. And this is a... that is... it's a booming blade. And this is 5 damage plus 10. So 10 magical bludgeoning and 4 thunder damage. And then using my bonus action... that
Third
is
wind?
a... I'm sorry?
Third wind?
I still didn't catch what you said.
That's okay. Nothing important.
Okay. Bonus action for an additional 11 points of magical bludgeoning.
Okay.
So that was 10, 11, and 4.
And moving or staying put?
I'm okay here.
And those of you out in the hallway, you can hear footsteps racing up the stairs. And you see Tom completely drenched. You see his head coming up through the spiral staircase, coming around the corner. And he's yelling obscenities, like, what the hell? What are you... And then he sees what's happening in the hallway, and he just freezes. And he slowly starts backing down the stairs.
Good man.
We're handling it.
It's going to bring us back to
Stop
Alex.
saying hand.
So
He
let's go ahead and take
freezes,
this first sharpshooter with advantage from Scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll hit an armor class of 16.
16 will not hit.
Okay, second shot. Hit an armor class of 9.
9 will not hit.
And third shot. Hit an armor class of 21.
That'll hit.
All right, and let's go ahead and put another Arcane Jolt on that. Some more force damage. So that's going to come out to 11 magical piercing plus 14 force.
And the magic's binding the creature together come completely undone as the last of the water in this armor hits the floor and splashes outward. And there's a loud sound as the last remnants of its armor and the trident that it was wielding crumble. And the material of it lands on the floor. And you can see that the material on the floor is starting to fuse together and is taking a shape. And it seems to form up about half of the Kodrashi fork.
Ah, crap. Bring the other one back, Lucius.
Give us a count to 6 and bring the other one back.
Alex, moving or staying put?
That's the end of Alex's turn.
It's going to bring us to Lucius.
Scrappy is going to dodge.
Scrappy dodges, and that's going to bring us to Lucius.
I'm going to dodge as well, and I'm going to hold concentration for another round.
Okay. Conor.
I'm also going to scoop up my scepter and book.
Sure. Both of which are soggy now.
Gross.
That's going to bring us to Conor.
I'm a cure wounds
On yourself?
on what's his name next to me.
On the creature?
Gus.
Okay. Oh.
That guy.
Yeah. Seems like he might need it. Do it at a
Miss
second
asshole.
level. So that will be it. All right, that's 18 hit points you get back.
It's a good roll. Good job.
And Conor, moving
Thanks,
or staying
buddy.
put.
Staying put.
Rallick.
I mean, I guess he'll attack again. Don't have a lot else I can do.
There's nothing to attack. Unless you're attacking
Huh.
Gus.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Gus probably deserves it, but please don't.
Mhm.
So Rallick, moving or staying put, what have you done?
I guess I'm gonna stay put.
Okay, it's going to bring us to Gus.
Gus is going to ready in action to Booming Blade, the elemental when he reappears.
Okay, you guys have about 50 seconds. We can come off initiative and do whatever you want before the spell ends naturally, or Lucius drops it prematurely.
I mean, Alex was going to ready in action to shoot the next water-based trident-wielding elemental to appear within Gus's threat range.
Just on the off chance that another water-based elemental shows up at random?
Yeah. Trident-wielding.
Good hedge.
He comes back holding a club.
No.
I guess everybody is holding an
I
action.
guess, I guess once everyone's set, I will
Yeah.
I heard
the spell.
Gus and Alex are.
I mean, there's no point not readying an action for the same one. So
Is that what
I've
you're
already
doing?
done it too. But yeah,
Yeah, Connor will
Ready
ready
in
in
action
action
for the same
with
thing.
his rapier.
Okay. So Lucius, it's down to you.
All right, everyone's all set. I am going to get into line of sight of the room, and I'm going to drop concentration.
Okay. Whose turn do you do this on? Because technically you can add
On my own.
concentration on your own turn.
On my own turn, because I have a thing I want to do.
Very good. Do it. I mean, the thing
Uh,
pops back into existence, which
Please
starts
to be
triggering...
making-
Well, not yet, because there's a
Yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
reactions that go off first.
yeah.
Well, we'll start with Connor's and just go down the list.
That's me.
Is it?
It is. All the dice are turning white, and it's very off-putting. Nope.
Connor wasn't ready.
Ugh.
Lucius even counted backwards from 5.
Rallick.
all right.
You
Nope,
went
that's
on
not going to
one
do it
and
either.
no.
That's 12.
Gus.
You guys want
Uh,
to not go.
That's an 11.
No. Alex.
We're all swinging. too. He's still-
13.
Still in corp.
13, no.
This is beautiful.
It's hilarious.
Brick Road could not have plotted this if you tried.
So here's what happened, right? Is Lucius came out, put out the softball tee, placed the ball on top of it, and then you all failed to hit the ball. Still sitting on the tee. All right.
I mean, I've
Lucius.
literally had 4 out of 5 rolls be under 7. When I've had one roll be
So-
more than 7.
Funny
on
thing
die.
about that is I don't have to actually hit the ball on the tee. I can just make the ball want to not be hit and still maybe hitting it anyway. Please, let's have this ball make a Constitution saving throw, DC 17.
So the metaphor kind of fell apart here, but you mean the elemental, yes?
Yeah,
DC is what?
17.
I have a 20.
Ooh, well, you're still gonna take half of this necrotic damage.
Sure.
Is the elemental ball shaped?
No. The elemental
It's
is
friend shaped.
He's not French.
medium humanoid shaped, wearing barnacle armor.
Ooh, that's kind of a shitty roll. 14 after having it.
So 28, and then have the 14.
Yeah, half to 14.
All right, and Lucius, moving
And
your
if
stay
it-
put.
And if it died, it rises up as a zombie, but I don't think it's gonna die.
I don't think it can rise up as a zombie.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna back off, and yeah, I fired my wad. You guys have fun.
This is zombie Kudrashi fork.